top 10 most heavily guarded homes in the world. Number 10. Fairfield Estate. The Hamptons are where the richest of the richest hang out during the summer vacation, and with all their cash on them, they must have some precautionary measures for the security as well. The Fairfield Estate is one of the most secure homes in the area, which is owned by the billionaire Ira Renard. The estate itself is worth $200 million, making it one of the most expensive estates in the United States. Renard has spent most of his massive fortune by collecting art, and most of his endeared works hang around his estate. Around $500 million worth best of the best paintings deserve the best of the best security too. The estate is fronted with a high-tech security gate, and by high-tech it means that only those who are invited are able to set foot on the grounds, let alone the buildings. It has bulletproof windows and enough security cameras to make the intruders think twice before entering. Renard is very precautious about the security of his 21-bedroom estate, which costs him a pretty lot. Number 9. The Zombie Bunker. There hasn't been a zombie apocalypse yet, but it looks like some people are pretty well prepared. Just in case zombies do decide to take over the world, there is a zombie-proof house known as the Zombie Bunker. Located in London, the entire house is built with solid concrete and movable walls further backed up with thick iron sheets. Even the windows are backed up with tough concrete sheets. There is a drawbridge system for the entry and exit, and it is the only way in or out. If you have to get out, you might have to rehearse it first, which makes it clear that the architects did not risk our safety from any point of view. The building is not an aesthetic one, but who sees beauty when zombies are coming for you? You know where to head in case. Number 8. Bill Gates' home. Bill Gates might seem like a humble, friendly person, but that doesn't mean you sneak into his house whenever you wish. It is also known as one of the most expensive properties in the world, and since it is owned by a software expert, why not it be a high-tech mansion just as we predicted? To control his electricity bills from going off records by implanting mines and electrical fences, he has his house surrounded by grove of trees and plantations, which also gives them privacy from the lurking photographers and paparazzi. Along with this state-of-the-art security, he has cameras and heat detectors which alert the residentials of any intruder from a mile away. If they have visitors, they have to wear a special pin which helps them to control the heating and electrical equipment around the house. No doubt he lives in one of the safest homes ever. Number 7. The Kardashians. After all the well-known hatred for Kardashians and the incident of Paris, it is needless to say that Kim Kardashian has boosted up her security wherever she goes. After firing her bodyguard Pascal Duvier, she also increased the security around her own house without taking any further risks. The security team manning the area were background checked very intensely, and only the best of them were hired. No one is allowed to enter the property without a pre-approved pat-down by the security. Instead of taking one car, she has dozens of cars standing outside at her disposal which follow and mix up throughout the journey to make sure nobody follows her footsteps. Multiple motion detectors and hidden cameras also surround the property. Rumor has that there is also a safe room with state-of-the-art technology for any bad eventuality, making the house as safe as Fort Knox. Number 6. Maximum Security Mansion. The name of this mansion is not quite pretentious as it seems. It is literal. The Maximum Security Mansion in Evergreen, Colorado is definitely very heavily protected. As the property spreads over 30 acres, it has a $6 million security system which almost put all the other houses at shame. The best feature of this house is that anyone with an Apple iPhone can check into it and have a look around by the cameras installed all through the house. The only thing needed is the login details and the security team consent. The property has an impressive thermal imaging by which any prints being left behind can be checked and recognized within 20 minutes, so beware if you break and enter this house. You might not get far. With the super sensors all over the house speaks for itself and lets everyone know about anything from the bathroom floods to the kitchen fire, accidental or intentional. Number 5. The Corby Family Residence. The Corby family residence, located in the Hollywood Hills of California, are known for their expensive and excessive use of security. The millionaire residents of the property are very much protected by the biometric recognition software and earthquake prevention techniques. Earthquake-proof houses are common throughout the U.S. The Corbys have their house built of concrete buried up to 30 feet below grounds in case if nature strikes. The house can also bear man-made disasters such as nuclear and chemical attacks. There is an underground bunker with enough supply of food and drinks to keep the family alive for 6 months. In a case of intruder, they do not need a phone but can call the cops from wherever in the house with a few touch of buttons. The well-stocked panic room they have has CCTV cameras, which can make them see the whole house and control the impressive release of fog to scare off burglars. Number 4. Ryongsong Residence. You might be thinking, who would necessarily need security system in a country like North Korea? A country which is the name of fear itself, where one might need to face a death penalty for merely wearing a blue jeans, which is a whole other story. Coming to the point, the Ryongseong residence sits in the northern region of North Korea, and in it, the royal family resides. Not only the palace has the advantage of being located in the most lethally secretive country, but also comes with an impressive interior, and is said to be the most secure place on earth. Kim Jong-un has gone to lengths to ensure the security of his home as he does for his country. The residence is surrounded by an electric fence, armed guard, and a minefield. The walls are protected with iron rods with lead-covered concrete which can withstand a nuclear blast. In a case of disaster and a quick escape, the house is connected to other royal residences such as Chanyeon House, also known as Residence Number 26, through secret underground tunnels. Moreover, even if the intruder makes it through the gates and guards, God knows what kind of chemical substances await them ahead, which get released in the air when the alarms go off. Number 3, Buckingham Palace. At one hand, it is a popular tourist trap in London, but at the other, it is the most secure location of the entire kingdom, and perhaps the world. A few roads surrounding the palace are closed off each time the visiting hours, and the police take over the no-go area to make sure everything goes smoothly. Since a guy named Michael Fagan scaled the building to have a good look around, the precautions are more tighter than ever. If you have been there, you might have seen the famous changing of guards. The guards carry a ring-around system to make sure no guard droops his eyelids to sleep during his shift in the calmness of night. The system works like guard A ringing guard B ringing guard C, who then rings guard D, and the ringing goes on the whole night, covering the entire property. Number 2, the White House. Do you know that Barack Obama was the most heavily guarded president in the world, and so the White House does also have every safety feature you could or could not think of? For the starters, the iron fence which surrounds the White House seemingly looks ordinary, but it is capable to hold an inside or outside impact by any car you can think of. The property has the special agents on the grounds at all times, which make sure only friendly visitors make it through the gates. The food scanning process is quite impressive and is done off-site in order to detonate everything off the premises. The White House also controls the restricted airspace by which helicopters cannot come too close, and even if they do, the house has bulletproof windows, radars, and infrared sensors that can detect any local or unwanted movement miles outside the premises. Number 1, Kronstadt Fort Alexander. Russians are known to do unpredictable. The whole point behind building this fort was to keep unwanted people away from St. Petersburg in Russia. Also, there is no way you can ever get close to the property. There are nearly 40 forts in the vicinity, and amongst them, Kronstadt Fort Alexander I is the most secure. There have been futile efforts to take over the fort, but people have given up on spending their time and energy bothering about it because the fort is just as secured. The military installments have 12 meters long piles which dig deep into the ocean and reinforce the top of the property. The whole security doesn't just end here. There are 35 of these piles which definitely cannot be knocked over. These piles have more layers which make them further indestructible. The first layer is of sand, even if you get through it. The second is concrete, which is then topped by a third layer of granite. Although it is abandoned now, it is not a good idea to make a day trip to this fort either.